Hi, I am Cha-Cha, and I am an early childhood educator. I've been in the field for 5 years and hold a certificate with the state of Colorado. Today, I'm making a video on responding to aggressive behavior. So, aggression, as I am using it in this video, is powerful body movements. Aggression can also be vocal, but I'm referring to mostly the body movements, although this might apply to vocal situations. And then violence, which I'm working to prevent, is non-consensual use of aggression against a living being. So that doesn't have to be a person. It's also violent if it happens to an animal. It's also violent, in my opinion, if it happens to a plant. Any living being. So my goal is in this video, is to provide you with a means of encouraging the expression of aggression when it shows up, while preventing violence. So when I see two people pushing each other or hitting each other, I use a tactic called redirection. So there's a couple different ways to redirect behavior. And the first thing I generally try is trying to redirect it toward inanimate objects. So the other day I was at a school and these children were fighting over who got to turn off the light and on the light, and they were kind of pushing each other. And I got scared that they were going to hurt each other because this was about the third time that they were pushing each other over control of the light, and I was worried that it was going to escalate. So I put a bunch of pillows in the corner of the room, and I said, "Hey, I'm going to push these pillows," and I ran into the pillows and I pushed them really hard. I was hoping that they would get excited at that and do the same thing because I could see that they had aggression that they needed to get out. They didn't, but one of them got what I was trying to do and said, "Can I have a high five?" And so I held up my hand and got a high five, and then I said, "Oh, give me another one." And then I held up my other hand, "Give me another high five." And I did this until it seemed like this child did not have aggression left to get out. So then the other child was like, "I want to turn." And I was like, "Okay." And I held up both of my hands, and the child just kind of pushed on them. So I could tell this child didn't necessarily need to hit. This child more needed to push. And then we started a wrestling game where the children took turns wrestling me. And this was a really healthy way to get out their aggression. And it was also consensual because I wasn't pushing back against them except enough to make them feel like they were pushing. And so I consented to be pushed. And so that takes the violence out of the aggression, and that's successful redirection. And this tactic works for lots of behaviors. Kicking, usually finding a sports ball to kick, if there's kicking or throwing, works, but it doesn't always. And as an adult working with children, it's often beneficial to consent to being the target of the aggressive behavior because it's not that likely that you'll get hurt, and it is very likely that you'll be a successful outlet and the children won't move on to hurt others.